Good afternoon, fine people. I hope all is well with you as it is with me on this day of um, putting a lot of things in perspective. Um, Self evaluation, I had a brain fart. Um, well, we'll just go with self evaluation and self analyzing, as well as in tune to the nasty, dirty energy around you on a daily basis while maintaining your power in your life. Um, so we are really dealing with a bunch of criminals. And it's not like we didn't know this already. It's not like we didn't know, we weren't aware of all this. We are evidence in that aspect of, everything. The foundation of America is very muddy and dirty. So therefore, a lot of these things that never been cleaned up, dealt with, are still ingrained in it. And there are people who have taken advantage of it, quite frankly. And they don't give a damn about the sanctity that you have built for yourself, the world that you have built, the little bit of what you have built for yourself to keep your sanity. Um, they never gave a damn. And quite frankly, they're showing it. It's been even more, because they've gotten away with it so much. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, people. Let me mute. So I'm back. So I'm back. So as I was saying, the sanctity of America, as we know it, has always been trampled over. But fortunately, we didn't have just a politician step in to save it. He knew what was going on. He knew what the deal was. He had the inside knowledge. That having that inside knowledge, could either sink or he could have swam with it, right? But he chose to be a force against what he knew, the things that he knew were going on in America that was trifling against the American people, thus MAGA. And thus should tell you why they hate MAGA so much. Because they hate you. They hate the American people. They hate you waking up. They hate you being aware of all the abundance that you have, but they've been stealing and they've been misappropriating. They've been taking advantage of us as a people on a constant basis, and no one has stood up, no one has said anything until 2016 happened. Um, and this man got in office, and he campaigned on draining the swamp, which put people who were criminals up in an emotional uproar. Can you imagine that these people were emotional, and they want you to be emotional? That's what, that's what kills me is their emotional leadership. They want you to fear, 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 because they fear. They fear. There's a lot. There's a lot that they fear, right, family? There's a lot of things that they fear. Um, they fear the American people being aware of these things and doing something about it to make America great. The again part they can leave off, but to move forward in greatness is always a positive thing. If somebody's turning that around and making it negative, then they have a serious issue. Hold on. And you should not listen to anything that they say because they're running on emotions. They're running on emotions, family. And those emotions, they want to roll over to you. They want you to fear. They want you to be dumb. They want you to be ruled by your emotions. And, putting in front of you, oh, somebody's going to put you back in chains. When the dumb part comes in where that person already put a lot of our people back in chains, but yes, they're going to project that upon somebody else that has not even, they didn't, and then when they got into the presidency, they actually released a lot of people from chains that Joe Biden had placed them in. So, I'm not calling anyone dumb because I know that people just don't get the memo, and a lot of people just are not there. They're just not there. They're not on the level of understanding, especially when you get stuck into religion. Religion will steal your soul. People think that that's where you go, but I can tell you now, you don't go to religion for the soul. The only religion you deal with is the regimen of the body, because that's the religion, the body, your flesh, your blood. There's certain things that you have to be religious about. Like you have to be religious about supplements for the body, things that you may not be getting for your body that it needs. You have to be religious about listening to the body. Because without the body, you ain't here to worship anything. You don't exist. If something is acting against your body, like a lot of these diseases and infections and all these things around us tend to want to do, they want to enter the body and destroy the body. You have to do the things religiously to prevent that. the body, our physical body works in conjunction with our environment. It works in conjunction with our thinking, our mindset, how our minds are, everything. So if somebody is putting some poison into your mind to tell you, like I can't, I'm like Nancy Pelosi is the only woman that I've seen that's been allowed to do this in a job, in her job, and she works for the American people, mind you. I can't work with Joe Smitty and I call him and I say things that he's doing and behind your back just to make him seem like a bad person because I, in my mind, I project that he's a racist. On the job, if I go to Nancy Pelosi and them, if I go to the highest office and I say, well, Joe Smitty is this and that, you think they're going to listen to me? You think they're going to help me? No, I'll be fired from my job immediately because it's politics, right? They decide they only want to use these things for politics, is what I'm saying. Joe Smitty can get away in the private sector, me working with him. I cannot campaign and say that this guy is this and that nobody should listen to him because he is a criminal and he's doing this and that. Because there's such thing called innocent until proven guilty. And that's something that we have not been utilizing in this country for a long time. Everybody's been proven guilty because of emotionalism, because people don't agree with you, because people don't like you. Emotions, pure emotions. I want to go after him in New York City, Tisha, whatever her name is. I want all his money. I want it all. I'm going to take all this man's money just because I've been told by my political uh, people that I'm social associated with, that we got to take him down because he's a biggest and he's a racist and he's taking advantage of invisible people. But we're just going to say for the sanctity of his father, because his father was KKK and his father did all this real estate stuff. And we know this information. So now we're going to make it look muddy upon this man who's a whole different person than his father. You know, we're not our parents, you know. But that's beside the point. We're going to muddy him up and make him people perceive things as a certain way. We're going to say all of this stuff. We're going to put the stuff in there to make it look really dirty. And it's not dirty, but we're going to make it look like that because we do not want him to save America. Mega is a bad thing. Mega people are horrible people because they love their country and they love the sanctity and want to protect the sanctity of that, right? And because they want to protect the sanctity of that, I'm really against it, right? So I hate mega. I'm going to muddy the waters with them as much as I can. I'm going to stereotype. I'm going to make them look real bad. How is that America? People have a right to be and free to be, right? At least I thought. But I don't see that. You know, I don't see that. I see emotionalism ruling majority of these criminals. And that's a good thing because when you run by emotions, you eventually destroy yourself because you're not doing the right things. If you're doing the right things, you have that balance. You know when you're doing the right thing. You're not emotional over your logic. We have a balance. We have feminine, masculine, and then we have our right and our left brain. We have that balance. We use to reason out our emotions. We sit and we evaluate. This and this will happen. If they loved America, they would love MAGA. But there's something they hate about that. You got to look into it and see why, especially when the man was going to drain the swamp. And Nancy Pelosi was up in arms. I remember I was watching her closely, very emotional, very shaken up, like Fani, just like Fani. I see the same exact thing happening with Fani. She's scrambling, she's shaky, she's terrified. She's terrified, but she's fighting, just like Nancy Pelosi did when he was trying to eight one eight what they call it, lock you up, when 1-800 lock you up. But they weren't gonna let that happen, let those things happen. And that's what the criminals do. So all the while they trying to stop that and put that in the tracks, they still trying to destroy you. They still trying to um because you have the power. What they have done is they try to wipe out your power. And New York City right now, they are trying to fight. They were fighting to allow the illegals to vote. That's a sneaky move, very sneaky. They've been doing sneaky stuff, underhand, dirty, underhanded, sneaky stuff. That's the thing. That's their MO. And that's the MO of the elite. That's the MO of the people that are pulling their strings. So it's obvious that the evidence is there, you know. But, you know, power in this place, unfortunately, the Mayan Bible told you that the wicked rules, and they have that power, the criminals, the ones that are in the upper chambers. But you too also have the power. So this is why I say making the right decisions, choosing carefully, and you don't have time to learn or time to make mistakes. Basically, we didn't never have time to make mistakes. We never had this time, and it's obvious to see as we see now. But all is not lost. The thing about it, when bad things happen, we get through it. You get through it. As I say, we breathe in, we breathe out, one foot in front of the other. And sometimes it's as if these things we're untouchable, by these evil, wicked things that these people tend to do to us. It turns out for the best for us sometimes. Um, Basically, I'm saying we can never be defeated. Can never be defeated. Only if you have defeat in mind. But if you don't have that mindset and you know that, you're going to win all the time, you put the effort forward to do so. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of effort, but it's all about being in tune and knowing what's going on around you and not being, a lot of people don't, a lot of information, a lot of people shun, they'll put labels upon it, you know. So that's okay, but I mean, you might be missing out on some things. I've been fortunate. I get led to things, you know. So, if there's a sign, if I have to pay attention to those signs, those billboards. I have to pay attention to them because sometimes those things, the little things around me. I have to pay attention. I have to be in tune to it because it's speaking. Things speak to you, and it's telling you different things that you need to know for the journey ahead of you. It's there to help you make decisions. So there are criminals amongst us, and if it's you, you are guilty first. You are guilty first, but they don't get held to those same standards. You know what I'm saying? They'll hold everybody else to those standards, but they don't hold them. They don't get held. They're a whole different thing, evidently. So let me see something. So it's obvious to see that they rule by emotionalism, and they want the people to be emotional as well. And they have gotten people being emotional in their thinking. They're not in their logic. They're not balanced out. They're not saying, what qualifies me feeling this way about Mega? And then those simple words, make my country great again, make my country great. Because we got to realize Caucasians don't, they dismiss a whole lot of stuff in life, right? They don't have to live through our struggles. They don't live through our struggles. They don't see the world the way we see the world. So for them, it would be again, because it was great, always great for them. But it was never great for us. But that's the only thing, and they play off of that. That's the only thing in that logo that makes it a put off is the great again, because it was never great for us in that aspect, and they can dismiss it because they don't perceive the world in a way that we perceive the world. They haven't experienced the things that we've experienced. Um, there are shared experiences, but we have lived in a controlled delusion that we are not prisoners of war, but we have always been prisoners of war. So that is not being a racist, that's been factual, that's been truthful. And I have not the power to be a racist. And I did not come up with racism, nor do you make the victim of such thing when I'm not a Caucasian, the progenitor of such thing. You can never do that. That's logically dishonest. that's been logically dishonest and that's been emotional. Because the truth, when someone brings forth the truth of things, it spins people into an emotional place where they're thinking that because you're coming forward with new stuff, truth stuff, you could bring in them, you're trying to break down the matrix, break down the delusion that we're stuck in, free the mind of thinking that religion is something outside of your body. See, I'm gonna say this once again. You wouldn't exist to worship if you're not taking care of you first. You won't exist. So who's the God? Who's getting the worship and the praise? You are. You have to. Biologically, if you don't, then you won't be able to worship that Jesus Christ in the church that they've propped up. You won't be able to do it because you won't be here to do it. You be sickly, you be weak. So who's the God? You are, because you're putting forth the work to take care of the body. And you listen to the body. You obey the body and you do what the body tells you to do. You at least this is what we should be doing. At least this is what we should be doing for ourselves. We should, definitely meditate. And even the birds, to me, they sometimes talk. I can actually hear when they're whistling or they're, making those singing sounds when they're communicating. It's almost as if it translates itself to something for me. So sitting outside, meditating and breathing can give you clarity, can help you tune into nature. And hey, Emmanuel, how you doing? I hope all is well with you as it is with me. Long time no see. Long time no see. So it's obvious that they want to continue their criminality, and they have proceeded with their criminality. It's outrageous how they can interfere with votes and just casually move along and uh, make things make everything they're doing now look other than interfering with the campaign. Because yeah, all is it's going to be well. It's going to get on track. See, we there's a reason why life goes off track for us, there's a reason why we have obstacles and we have struggles. That's so that we can get through those things and overcome those things. And it's, life is always supposed to have some challenges, right? To make us better, you know. So that it that is it right there. Life's challenges only make us better, you know. Um, so what we have to go through, in this country, even though, we shouldn't be dealing with politics, we shouldn't have to deal with all this bullshit and all this stuff that gets, um, that overtakes, and, it damages a lot of people's well-being, you know. Um, and that's what it does. That's what this society has done. A lot of our people have health issues. Um, it's just all the things that we have to deal with on a constant basis is the issue. Hmm. Because, like I said, our nature, and I was going to break it down for you guys. I think I did last time. I don't know if I did it, talked about it, but I had it on my mind. When I had it on my mind, it was clearer to say to you and show you. But there is a thing called science, and in that science is, everything has to be, in tune to each other. And, any doctor would tell you, you have to listen to your body. That's why, I didn't understand before when a doctor asks you what's going on with you, what's wrong with you. It's not like he wants a diagnosis. He's asking me, what am I listening to my body? What is my body telling me, so that I can give him that information, and he can in turn use his science that he has as understanding, and go back and do his research and studies and find out, aha, this is what you got going on. When, you know, we used to be able to do that for ourselves. That's how we survived. That's how our ancestors were so, healthy and strong, the way they were before captivity, before our captivity. And, speaking of our captivity, and us being prisoners of war in this place, um, when we look at the Bible, we can't come from the same perspective that the people that gave us the Bible have come from, because we're not free. We, I mean, they tried to use science to embed themselves in it, but in all actuality, the physical, we are here. We are in it. They tried to make like it's, um, basically they haven't experienced what we've experienced, but they have now been put in the situation that we are in. And by that I mean we're in a shared experience with this government that is corrupt, that is criminal, that feels like they don't work for us. They don't want to make anything great. They don't want to progress. They want things to stay the same. They want you to be dumbed down and they want you to be running on emotions. They want you to fear, fear, fear everything so that you can make the wrong choices and decisions, which would be banking on them, the criminals. The criminals run on emotions and they always want to bank that you're going to come running behind them and agreeing everything they say with everything they say and do. Hold on. All right, I'm back. I'm so sorry, but they are basically because things have been planned. Everything's planned. Um, the wicked always has a wicked plan for us. So, and if you don't know that you are the generator, operator, destroyer, and that you are allowing something outside of you that mm, I didn't forgot what I was just saying. That's not good. But anyway, because something popped up and got my attention, and I started reading it mess, and I forgot what my point was, what I was going to say. But anyway, let's move on. Like I said, we should have been planning and plotting a whole different thing for ourselves. Because being in this illusionary place, we get delusional and we believe things that we see and they say what we see, what they tell us, um, and we think this is the way instead of listening to the truth. And the truth, what did I say? Truth comes from. Truth is like your body speaking to you and telling you what it needs. That's the truth. Truth is if the body is sick and going through some things, it's talking to you, it's speaking to you, telling you what is going on. That's the truth. If you totally oblivious to those things, there's going to be harsh consequences that we have to face because we're not in tune to our bodies. We're not in tune to the world around us. We're not in tune because we're missing out on some things that are serious, important things that are going on because we feel like, oh, that has nothing to do with me, and I don't listen to that. So when that happens, you know, that's why I have to be plugged into everything. If it's saying something, I have to listen. I would be guided to that place if it's of importance. So, you know, the wicked, the criminal amongst us have never ever went away. It's a falsehood to believe the devil when he's pointing out the devil to you. When you have one devil that's pointing out the devil to you, that's you that have to have that balance in your mind to really think out and reason and rationalize what the emotional one is talking about. So right now my body's saying it needs to eat, so I'm gonna go eat. And with that said, always remember true love, real peace, and the higher self within the soul. And thank you, Emmanuel Briggs, and all others that are in the clouds for being here and uh, getting receiving this enrichment, this empowerment. Um, because it's important. Not everybody sees, the same thing in life. Not everybody's on that same path. So it's important that people voice what they see and what they feel deeply within themselves that can help help others. I mean they started charging. People charge you to know information. Um and what I mean by that, I mean by psychics. They charge money, and I've always hated this because I remember my mom and them spilled up trying to get information from a psychic, $800. My mom like blew her top over that, but I paid it back. I paid her for that bill. But still, why should we have to pay for knowledge? Knowledge is important. And if you know something, if you feel something, we're all psychics. So you have to, it's important that you tell people what is going on, what you see. Conversation doesn't cost, should never ever cost anything, but people charge for their time, so say. But time doesn't really exist for me. So, with that said, always remember true love, real peace, the higher self within you, the soul. Till next time, peace. Love you guys. Stay safe.